Derek.
Hey Trey.
Um, we both seem to be moving a little slower today, but we're going to fire off episode 35. We're going to call this the calm before the storm.
We already had the calm before the amateur storm.
Yeah,
But
this is, how about the calm before Minios?
that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing calm about it, I can tell you
Well,
that
I'm
right
calm.
now. Yeah, you're
I'm
calm.
calm.
I'm
I'm
not.
calm. But welcome home. You did the Lazy Springs I-4 triple threat race this weekend. I partook in the Dust Bowl known as Bartow Round 3
Yep.
for FTR. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, we went down to Lazy Springs in Lehigh Acres
Yep.
yesterday for the Triple Crown Series through I-4MX. We ran the Dade City there, and then we're gonna finish it out at Punta Gorda on the second and third, the new Moto Bros track that's opening up.
Yeah.
Lazy Springs is a different place.
It's for all intents and purposes, it's an off-road park
Yeah.
for Jeeps and trucks and
Yeah,
four-wheelers.
there's mud holes and fishing, and the kids can swim in all the lakes, and
They have a jet ski course.
yeah, it's a big playground.
Yeah.
For what it is, it's cool.
Yeah.
The prices are a little on the higher side for I think it's like $35 to get in, then you got to pay $10 per vehicle, then you got to pay camping, but for an off-road park, for a family fun park, it's cool.
Track's a little tight.
Yeah, they decided to throw a motocross track in the middle of it. It's straight sand. It's rough, deep sand. It's not your typical motocross complex, but they got the job done. Beat the hell out of the bikes. Overheated bikes, blew up bikes. It's
the one that we talked about when I went down to watch the regular I-4MX series, where I said, not all tracks are everybody's favorite, but it's nice to have that. It is a complete variety track.
It's if you can ride that track, you can ride any track.
Yeah.
So lots of wrecks, lots of discouraged kids, not just my own, just everybody in general. I seen kids kicking bikes and just falling over, and it was rough, but it was a good day. It was hot, miserably hot. The humidity was killing everybody. But we came out with 2 second places overall, so it was a good weekend for us. Hard on the bikes, like I said, but that Triple Crown series is a cool series. We the PWs had to run like the little Pee-wee track up front there, and I talked to Kenny beforehand, Kenny Yoho, the series host, and we kind of incorporated some of the big track into the little track. He's like, we've never done this before, so we brainstormed for like half an hour, and we figured out how we could incorporate a little bit of the main track, and it swallowed PWs the whole time, but it gave us a little Minios prep, and then it was hard on the beginner riders. They were really, really struggling.
But the first 2 turns on that track will eat you up.
Yeah. So the first turn out of the start on the main track, I wanted to use it, but they call that the Bermuda Triangle. Bikes go in and they never come out.
Yeah.
So we decided on PWs, even after they groomed it, that it was not going to be suitable. So we used the next turn up that goes into that big turn. They kind of went out of the whole shot and took a hard left out of the whole shot up into the second turn, and then back down into the mini track.
Okay.
It's very, very tight, even for PWs. It's hard for them to pass. It's more like a Stasic track, really, like a 12-inch Stasic type of deal. But they got it done. Then they'd go back out onto the hard pack. It's kind of supercrossy because they'd go into the sand, then they'd come out to like a supercross straight stretch, like they would out into a hole shot on real hard pack
white
driveway, really, you know. And then they'd go back into the sand section and back out across another hard pack. So they got to experience a whole bunch of different elements. There was rocks, and it was good. A lot of kids wrecked. There's a lot of wrecks. Got to see it. There's a guy race like a Sauron type bike.
Oh, really?
In the beginner 450 class or the 250 class. One of the beginner classes, he was racing like a Sauron type electric bike. Kenny's actually the one that told me about it. He's like, there's one of those electric bikes here, and he was up because we asked if we could cut the laps down on the electric bikes because it was just absolute hell on those bikes in that deep sand. And we asked if we could cut some of the laps down. He's like, yeah, the other electric bike. I'm like, yeah, for the 50s. He's like, no, there's big electric bikes. I'm like, there's Stark Varg here? He's like, no, it's like a Sauron type deal with number plates on it. So, but we found it. Yeah, he had two of them. He was racing them.
Did he have it all set up? Because I saw one at Bartow this weekend. The dude had on true foot pegs. He had on, I want to say it was like Race Tech valve front forks.
It looked pretty well done. I mean, it still had the Sauron shape.
Yeah, the black.
It doesn't have the Stark Varg dirt bike look, but it had a full dirt bike fender, number plate on the front, number plates on the sides. But it still had the real skinny plastic.
Yeah.
And then it looked like it had full forks on it.
It's crazy. Those guys are spending so much money on those
They
bikes.
are.
It's ridiculous.
And I've come to the conclusion, I think I would trade my big bike for one of those because I'm pretty much done riding at this point. Back issues again, and we're so involved with the kids. There's no sense of me even.
But you could go out and ride one of those.
But
for
that's
fun.
the thing. I could even get rid of the 110, the pit bike, and just have that and ride.
Yeah, because you could ride pit bike stuff with that.
Yeah, ride with the kids, and put all of my toy bikes into the bikes that we need because we need 2 bikes for next year, 4 bikes total we need. So it's crazy. But back to the I4 series, yeah, he was riding that Sauron deal, and the only thing that I noticed is every jump that thing would air wheelie, and there's you could tell. I've heard that a lot about the Stark Vargs too. That you hold the throttle, they'll loop out in the air because there's so much torque. They'll spin them. Yeah. And I hear a lot of these FMX guys want to go electric because you can romp on them and pull the back flips easier. So that's the only thing I seen. This guy almost ate it crazy. He launched this thing and it was straight up in the air. I could see the front end coming back, and he landed like that, and somehow it come back down. But that's the only thing that sketches me out about those. If you're gonna ride those, you better figure out the momentum of them before you start launching stuff like that.
I still think on those electric bikes, because there was a guy racing a big electric bike yesterday, and it's crazy. We were standing on top of the hill, and we could hear him accelerating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And just hear chains slapping.
And I think my thing for those is, dude, they're not full on, but how much can they actually take?
I don't know. That's what worries me. I don't know. The Stark Vargs, they say, will take a beating. I mean, that's a full motocross bike, but those Saurons aren't really made for that. I mean, they're a backyard toy, something for in communities that you can.
I wonder if they'll ever do and completely off what we do, but I wonder if they'll do any a Sauron downhill mountain bike thing, because I feel like you can't put them against a regular bike because those guys don't pedal going downhill, but the Sauron, they could literally blip a throttle and clear a section.
Yeah, it's crazy. But even the e-bike that we have, our boy went out. He's lined up with all 50 riders. The TC50s, the KTM 50s, and he blew them away on the whole shot. The instant power it's almost unfair. Yeah. But I mean, I couldn't be more proud of the kid, just out there screaming in front of all those kids. And there was some no joke 50 riders there. But yeah, it's just the instantaneous power of those things is almost.
Yeah, there's no lag.
It's not fair on that aspect of it. But then we get to our downfalls where last lap, last straight stretch, we got a bike that's overheating, and then everybody's coming up past them because it slows them right down to nothing. Yeah. I think it could be a bike issue for us because the other e-bike that we had right behind my boy was still on 2 battery life, and we were down on 1 and overheating, and it's probably time for a battery swap. But it's got its downfalls as well, but they're pretty cool. I mean, it's the new era.
I'll touch on this first. Any high-end riders running, just kind of getting some time in before Mini O's? How was the turnout? How was not even the turnout, because it doesn't matter. It's off-season, somewhat racing. How was the quality of rider, or was it a chance for other people to kind of get their feet
I think
wet?
it was more. There's no real high end riders there. Um, It's more like a. This was more like a family
Okay.
motocross weekend. I know like some of the guys that raced the Dade City one. It wasn't a huge turnout there either. Still, I mean, still a good amount. I do know the I-4 series. Their regular series has, I think it was at Moto Bros. They pulled in. They're telling me this weekend like 400 riders,
Wow.
which is bigger than even the Gold Cup pulls in for down at Moto Bros. But this one, I do think a lot of guys shy away from the Lazy Springs because it just destroys bikes.
It's a tough
And
track. I mean, it is a tough. I've seen it. I have not ridden on it, but like I said, when our first conversation a while back, I think it would be a great practice track.
yeah,
Like you got straightaways, there's jumps. It's sandy. You can make different lines throughout corners.
it's a big track too.
I mean, I noticed that your son made a line, chased off a dude that was he like just accelerated through a corner and made his own berm.
Yeah, that's what they got to do, you know. And those e-bikes, you just power right through it. That's the thing. They didn't dog down there. They might have sunk down,
Yeah.
but there's no dogging down like the 50 two strokes are doing. So
Yeah.
he was able to pull out of stuff like that. He he was leading, good. I'd say like an eighth of a track the whole time, up until we had issues every single moto.
Yeah.
But I think that's also where the electric bike comes into play, where it's almost an unfair advantage for some part. But they're in their own class. He wasn't in the 50 class.
Yeah.
He's in an e-bike class, but they put them all together. So, but yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was hot, like I said, but the kids got to fish and swim afterwards, and
Yeah, they got to enjoy the amenities.
yeah, so not just a race. I mean, it was like a camping trip too.
Yeah. Yep. So now immediately come home, shift focus, and now we're on mad dash to leave. Well, I guess you'll leave. Will you leave Saturday, or will you leave Friday?
I don't know. I'm still up in the air. So we got into Minios late last week. I found out we were registered as alternates, like I've said the past few episodes. Didn't know if we were going to get in. We get in a week before. So now nothing's ready because I had no intentions of getting in. So now we're bike prepping because we had bike issues all this weekend, all last weekend, trying to get bikes ready. I mean, we're only running the PW up there, so my middle boy is the only one riding Minios. Registration's on Friday, but you can register on Saturday too. We practice on Saturday as well, but we're practice 20, so I'm really thinking just going up Saturday morning. We're going to be out in BFE anyway. We don't have a power spot, so we'll be running generator the whole time. And I'm still up in the air. I'll probably figure it out Thursday if I'm going to leave Friday or Saturday, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun week regardless. I mean, the experience alone is going to be worth it. A lot of big guys, every big guy's there, Yeah. Even in the off season, you got Malcolm. The Stewarts are always there. Malcolm loves the PW class. We'll get to see a lot of the bike changes there. So guys on new teams, and it's gonna be cool.
So when you pull in there to that track, instead of getting to go left, you're gonna have to go right and out to the hinterlands.
There's that spot. Instead of pulling in the main entrance, there's also fields down the road. Then you can go up on top of the quarry. It's a packed house there.
Do they tell you where you're gonna go?
I don't know. Never been.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously we race Gatorback and Diamondback and stuff, but this is a whole different animal.
Yeah, because I go as a fan and I just pull in with
park
my little
where
car
it'll fit. Yeah.
Park wherever you can. I will be up there Sunday to watch the first day of racing, and kind of excited to see what it's. Well, last time I went was probably 20 years ago, and you could still park in the normal parking area. And just seeing pictures of years gone by, oh man, it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe like a Florida Burning Man type thing. You could just find a spot and
park it wherever you can fit 70 feet in. And let it go. So it's going to be an experience. It'll prepare us for next year when we're actually trying for this hardcore, and we'll get our learning curve out of the way and see
Yeah.
what it's like.
Yeah, because I mean, there's guys that have gone, not made the mains or the main motos, and it's like, all right, I thought they were pretty good, and
Yeah.
it just happens.
Well, you got people traveling from all over the world
Yeah.
to race this race. It's just like Loretta's, really, except you don't have to get in. Um, you just sign up and race, and most of the pros are there. You usually see every future rider there, futures, especially the super. I mean, everybody comes to race the Supercross. I mean, they race the outdoors too, but what chance do you get to race Supercross outside of Supercross?
Yeah.
So it'll it attracts everybody. The best of the best are there, and we'll see what happens. See
Very
where we
good.
stack up against everybody else.
And you also have a race in between that race that you have to figure out how to do.
Yeah, we got our last Dade City Championship race. It's double points. I hate to miss it. So we have practice Saturday. We have racing Saturday night. We go back. We race first thing Sunday morning. So 2 hour drive down, 2 hour drive back. Wake up at 7 and start racing. We're Moto 7. So we'll be fairly early in the morning. And then we race Monday and hopefully Tuesday if we get into the main. And then we're back at Punta Gorda on Saturday.
So my only request is make sure you put gas in the bike
Oh, yeah.
so that you don't have to worry about that. Like, just go ahead and get it filled up.
Do that right away.
Just get it done, load it up, and head out. And
I'm just going to keep the old VP right on the golf cart with us.
so, are you just taking the truck up? Like, you're gonna take the camper, but then to Dade City, will you just?
Yeah, so we'll load the bikes in the truck, travel to Dade City,
Yeah.
travel back, sleep for a couple hours. Hopefully the kids sleep the whole way, and we'll see what happens. It's gonna be rough, but
You're gonna have to do some breathing exercises and relax and
I don't relax.
drink a lot of water.
If I was relaxed, I wouldn't be able to do this.
So that's the big week that you guys have going on. There was the third round of FTR this weekend. The 2 weeks ago they raced the hard side of the property. This time they raced the more sandier side. And I have a few pictures that I'll post up of like what the start line looked like at some of the starts.
Mm-hmm.
Photo man who takes photos was literally across the track and you couldn't see him. Like there
Oh,
was
yeah.
just these dust balls and he would literally take shots, back away, come back, take shots, back away. And he did that for all the lines. But the track for Sunday was 11 and a half miles. We went Saturday and Sunday. The quad race ended at dusk. The dust, if you most don't know, in Florida, the dust settles because the air gets heavy. So the dust doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When my wife and I left to go grab dinner in Bartow, when we came back, the dust had crept across Highway 60.
It's crazy.
And it was like, oh, that could get dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It was just basically just laid like a blanket across.
So I remember when I raced that race, you pull the whole shot and it's just you're going into
Yeah.
pitch black smoke.
There were guys that would come down the hill and just stop because
Yeah.
you couldn't see. So track was cool though. Heard lots of people enjoy that layout. Enjoyed the track minus the dust. It's a little less abrasive on the body than the other round was. Jesse Ansley won the double A. There is a guy that races in the 30 plus class who's running top 10. Kyle McAfee's running like top 10 in overalls in a 30 plus class. And it's like, dude, there's some fast guys out there right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
But good race, just dusty, hot, kind of like you. It was just hot, and there wasn't a lot of breeze. And when there was a breeze and overcast, it wasn't bad because it was only, like you said, it was only in the 80s. But the humidity was just nasty.
Yeah, it was it was insane. And obviously we were south, so it was a little warmer.
Yeah.
But it was brutal. We're used to 100 and some degrees in the summer, and
Yeah.
I think this weekend was a top tier to that.
It was scorcher. It was kind of like, okay, well, if you can get through this, then you can probably ride most anything. I think for motocross, it's pretty much on the professional side. It's off season. Everybody's prepping for next year. Boot camps. Some people have done some testing. Other things are going on. In the amateur side, obviously we have mini O's, but then as soon as mini O's is over, it's like, whoop.
Yep, everything's
It
quiet.
takes a break. I guess I-4, triple threat. They have that one race left, and then it's just kind of like, all right, let's regroup.
Yeah.
FTR had this race. They don't race again until December 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th down in Punta Gorda at the not strawberry farm, a watermelon farm.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually the course of the year last year, so it's a good fun course. So you might start seeing some of the motocross guys who are just looking for seat time pop in. Some of the pros start making their way down to run. The off-road pros start making their way down. So yeah, it's actually so I think for you and I, well, after I wake you up after Minios in your preparation for Punta Gorda, we're gonna obviously do a wrap for Minios and that whole experience of what that was like, and then we may talk about the last round of I4MX and your wrap up of Dade City, what that whole experience was like running for the series, and then we may take a little.
Yeah, because we'll be.
We missed last week because, well, there wasn't anything happening.
No, so I got a video edit that I got to do for Ryland that we're gonna put up, but yeah, it's between our racing is out of control right now, so I've kind of been focusing on that, and we it's the first one we've ever really missed, but for us it's in full swing. Like we've never been this busy.
Yeah.
So
I bet you're ready for a break though too. Though.
I am. Like I'm definitely getting there, but we're gonna be wrapping up the Triple Crown Series, Minios, and Dade City all in a week. So all those series will be wrapping up within a week's time. So for us, it's stressful.
Is there a Thanksgiving meal thrown in there at some point?
I don't know what we're doing. That hasn't even been talked about.
Because you'll be here.
We'll be here, yeah. So we have no idea.
I mean, if you were up at there, you could just they host Thanksgiving.
Yeah, most
Gator
of them do. Future MX does the old seafood boil for everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of the vendors and stuff like that. But my goal is to absolutely come home. We need some home time.
Yeah.
Because it's not something we've had, and we've been living in a toy hauler for weekend after weekend for 3 months now.
Yeah. Well, as you can say, you're busy, but it's almost over, and then you can regroup.
Yeah, for about a month,
Yeah.
and then it all starts over again. We figure out what we're going to do, get some training in, and hopefully get some bikes figured out and see what happens from there. 2024, here we come.
Well, I have no big news that has occurred or happened. I did enjoy, I don't know if we had a podcast from the time I got to spend with Ryland up doing his VO2 max test. That was actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that was neat to see an athlete. And then I actually talked with another rider, and they do theirs down in South Florida, where they go do the lactate and the whole VO2, and he's an off-road guy, and it's like, I didn't realize I need to go try one of these one time, but I will not share my results because it would be embarrassing.
They'd be sharing my obituary if I tried that.
So, but yeah, it's just there's not much. I don't think there's any big earth. Well, I guess Vince Freeze caused a problem at World Supercross.
Did see that. Yeah.
Brayton took a digger, but he's racing Paris. I don't know why Barsha's out at Paris. But so there's still some off-season stuff, but nothing that's really big.
Whatever happened to Ken Roxon? I seen him go down. He
went
messed
down.
his ankle up. I didn't know if he kept racing.
He ended up winning one moto of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's that series is it's not invisible because there's good riders, but like the track was so tight that they had to do a front back start.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have the riders all on the same line.
It's like an arena cross race.
But they were racing in Abu Dhabi, so how do you pass that up?
Yeah.
And then they finished the last round of the Australian Supercross, and then I guess they're doing the last round of World Supercross in Australia. There's racing, but nothing right now that really interests us or is important to us, unless it's an injury or a rider that's riding unbelievable, at this point it's kind of, they're just cashing out at this point, is what guys are doing. So, I don't know. What's your opinion on Vince Freeze and his tactics?
That's how he's always rode. I've never seen him ride.
How come nothing is ever done?
I don't know. Like there's the time. Remember that time he took out Christian Craig?
Oh yeah,
terribly. It was like that split lane section, and he like always has an excuse about it too, no brakes or something, and I didn't mean to push that wide, or they straight took out Dino from what I seen. I mean, I had just seen a couple clips of it here and there in between us racing, and cause if I'm not racing or working on a bike, I'm watching motocross clips. I mean, it's life, but I don't know why he rides the way he rides. He never ever comes out of it clean either.
No.
Like he goes down with them.
And I think for me, I see it like, if you want to ride hard, like Barsha takes you out and then tells you, man, that was good hard racing. I have heard, I have not been able to watch, so it's naive of me and dumb, but I have heard that he has spoken about what he has done and kind of not backed down from what he has done.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the rest of the society is not happy with him. But I'm going to play devil's advocate. Is the rest of society not happy with him because it's who he was and they never gave him the benefit of the doubt? Or is the rest of society mad at him because he's just that nasty?
I don't know. He's just a nasty rider.
Yeah, he is. He's just...
Love to talk to him sometime.
Well, when you talk to him...
Figure out the mindset.
Seems like the nicest guy in the world. Yeah. Like, he's just a nice guy, and this is what he does. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. Because he's taking out guys that they really don't need to be taken out. I mean, Dino's on the verge of not being able to walk.
Yeah.
And Brayton's old. And, like, these guys are, like, they're just kind of at the end.
Well, it's back when he was taking out Christian Craig, there was no competition.
Yeah.
Like, Christian was the points leader and by far, and he still slammed right into him, knocked him out into the
Oh, they almost made it to the exit.
Yeah, and there was like that mesh or whatever up that he ran into, and it was a mess. But I don't know. I don't see the need for it, but he sure does.
Yeah. But no, I don't really think there's much else to cover. I mean, we could ramble, but honestly, you got a lot to get done this week, and you got to figure out some bikes, and you got to figure out getting that 70-foot monstrosity parked and situated.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And parking it so that you can get your truck out to go race somewhere else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, gotta leave some room. But we lost Caleb Groves over. I don't think we ever brought that up. He broken collarbone.
Broke his collarbone. Yeah.
Still hasn't got that figured out yet. Still hasn't seen an orthopedic. So.
Really?
Yeah, can't get into one right now.
Oh wow.
So he's still fighting that battle, but he's out for many O's, and hoping to have him by the kid's side for a little bit and do his little pep talks. And
well, maybe we'll have a crew. We can have a crew of people that we know, like, and trust up there on Sunday to hang out with us and show us the ropes.
Yeah, and help when help is needed.
Yeah, for sure.
God knows I'm gonna need it.
For sure. So can you tech two bikes at this race, or do you have to run what you have?
I think technically you're supposed to run the bike you register, but
okay.
I don't know. I'm doing what I got to do.
Unless Bowen goes out there and wins, they're not going to know.
We're taking an extra bike with us. I can tell you that right now. It's not ours, but it'll be there. As long as we can make that happen, it'll be there. So we'll figure it out. I mean, I don't expect him to go out and dominate, so I don't think there's going to be any kind of issues whatsoever. But there's always somebody that's going to throw a fit about something.
Well, I haven't really paid attention to the 50 badassery list of little kids that are running 50s right now around the country. So
yeah,
I don't know who's coming in hot.
There's lots of them. I mean, like I said, we're way under the gun right now. I didn't get new bikes, but everybody there is going to be on new bikes, new gear. We aren't going to be. We're doing our trial run because I was very underprepared for what was going on this week. So.
Hey, it happens. It happens. But I think for episode 35, we're going to call this a wrap because I'm guessing episode 36 is going to be pretty full of the racing that occurred and what we saw, especially for Supercross. And then we'll obviously see the results. And I believe you're going to be able to watch it on Racer TV or something.
Yeah, so all the races will be online and live on Racer TV.
Yeah.
So we'll be on there. I'll shoot the link up on our pages when we get it, and anybody can watch. And
Sweet. That way we can watch, see what's going on, so we can talk about it a week from now.
Yeah.
Actually, it won't be a week from now. We'll know your experience. The other ones will be a week after that.
Yeah, because we might be home Tuesday, might be home Wednesday. It'll probably end up, I think we may end up doing the recap the following Monday.
Okay.
Then we get Punta Gorda out of the way, Dade City's out of the way, Minios is out of the way.
Okay. So we may not do something next week. We may just have some content fillers.
Yeah, some videos and Minios, and maybe get some small little interviews during Minios. And if my life's not too crazy up there, I'll see who I can talk to.
Perfect. All right, man. Well, this is episode 35. That is Derek Shaffer, who needs to sleep. I am Trey Heath. This has been the Beyond the Curve, the MX podcast, and it is brought to you by DBS Custom Fabrication and Handyman Solutions and Michelle and Trey Real Estate. Y'all have a great week and enjoy the family time. Bye-bye.